since I've seen the sun. And I need it. I all the way need it. Let me get to this news right quick. If you apply it, I'm trying to bring up our social media as far as our Facebook is concerned. So if you are not driving and you want to watch the show, or the app isn't working, you go to Big City Radio. As far as the app is concerned, get you some visual of me looking a fool today. Forgive me. But I want to give a shout out to all the mothers out there. I did this publicly on Facebook, but I want to give a shout out to all the mothers who feel completely overwhelmed, who are single moms, who are the mom and the dad who don't get days off, who, for whatever reason, for whatever circumstance, it's just you by yourself. You might have an auntie, a sister, or somebody that helps you out, but for the most part, it's you all alone. I want to give a shout out to you because I know the struggle. The struggle is real. And if you ever need a babysitter, hit me up. I do charge, but they'll be in good hands, and I do whoop children. So they'll be nice and in line for you when you get back. But I do understand the struggle is real, and we have too many women out here that are going to school, are working, are taking care of kids, and just have no freedom, no time freedom. They don't know what it's like to breathe, to not be in mommy mode. So to you and to those, I want to say happy Mother's Day, and every day is definitely Mother's Day and Father's Day and Grandparents' Day and every day. For Motivational Monday, I want to start off today's story with a first grader who was born without hands, who beats out 50 other young children, first graders, and won a national handwriting competition. You cannot sit here and say that can't is a bad word in my house. Mommy, I can't. We don't, can't is unacceptable. You better figure it out. Ask my kids, figure it out is the number one phrase in my household, because 7 years old, born without hands. How on earth do you beat 50 other first graders and win a national handwriting competition with no hands? 7 years old, Anaya Elkin was born without hands but taught herself to write. She holds the pencils between her two forearms and stands up at her desk. Her principal entered her into a Nicholas Maximum Special Award for excellence in manuscript penmanship. Anaya managed to win the competition with her great handwriting that has been posted on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page already, and she is such a pretty little girl. A pretty little girl. I love the way her parents put the little barrettes in her hair. People don't even put barrettes in their children's hair anymore. They're too busy putting weave in their kids' hair, everything else, but she's such a pretty little girl. Check that story out. Wake Up with Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre. A Florida businessman builds an environmentally friendly sports car made out of cannabis hemp. Do you guys remember the car that we discussed? I think this was a couple months ago, about the car that came out that was completely made out of hemp, that ran off of hemp, and then they took it off the market because it was indestructible and didn't need gasoline to run. Bruce Michael Ditson has made his two-seater sports car from hemp. Each car body is made of 3 layers of woven cannabis hemp from China. He believes each body is 10 times more resistant to dents than steel. The environmentally friendly car even runs on recycled agricultural waste. And it's a sexy car. Like it could be a sports car? What is a sports car called? I don't know what it could be called, but what is that damn sports car that I'm thinking of? I don't like them. Corvettes. It could pass as I don't know why. I've never liked Corvette, even as a kid. He said that the body of the car uses about 100 pounds of woven hemp. Ditson was inspired to build the sports car after hearing about the renowned industrialist Henry Ford. So it was the Ford who in 1941 built the world's first soybean hemp vehicle. Building the cannabis car, however, was no easy feat for Ditson, as acquiring the controversial material was proven more difficult than he expected. Again, I want to go back to the fact that here in the United States, your hemp is illegal. And that's why, I don't know if you remember, one of the questions that I had was whether or not, or how do we have hemp products here in America, but they're so damn expensive. It's because they're imported. like the little hemp jackets, the hemp hacky sacks. Anybody older than 25 remember little hacky sacks made out of hemp. What's funny to me is it has been proven that growing marijuana neutralizes the Fukushima hazardous waste. It neutralizes it. It sucks it all up, eats it all up, and eliminates it. Salute. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Those on Facebook Live. Not only does hemp suck up some of this hazardous material, but it also, again, let's go back to the vehicle, 5 times stronger than steel. Let's also talk about how it could be used in the place of cotton. So we could have hemp clothing. Let's also talk about the fact that we could use it in medicine. You could use it as paper. It grows faster than trees do. So we are not cutting down forests. Do you know how many forests we cut down on a daily basis to provide paper towels, tissue, and a list of other things? Hemp could be used for anything and everything, but yet in the United States of America, oh yeah, and it could be used as fuel. So we wouldn't need oil, we wouldn't need fracking, we could use hemp. Don't believe me, just read. Heavy rains in Louisiana caused havoc in cemeteries, with caskets floating up from their graves. Days of heavy rain has distributed graves that were buried at least in at least five cemeteries. Now, I want to go back to a couple months ago when I read to you about the pods and how pods can, you can either be cremated and your ashes are the soil, the foundation for seeds to grow and blossom and create a plant or a tree or whatever it is that you would like to become as your ashes, fall into the soil. Or you can actually be buried in a pod. So it's not a casket, it's a pod. It's like a biodegradable little cocoon that they put you in, and then they put you in the ground, and they put a seed inside, and you are the foundation for a tree. Wouldn't that make more sense to go visit the forest of our ancestors, the forest of our loved ones, than it is to go visit a box with their bones in it? Even in the Bible, didn't they say, to the dust you shall return? So cremate me all day. So this is, if I'm dumb enough not to have a living will 20 years from now, use this as my living will. My kids already know I want to be in a pod and I want to be a tree. They can pick whatever tree they want to pick. They're going to split my ashes in half. If I have a third child, they'll split it in thirds. And then go ahead and pick whatever tree they want and have 3 trees out of their mama. I think that's a lot smarter than just having caskets popping up all over Louisiana. And we already know why. So far, 88 caskets have been recovered. They're still trying to fish out more. It's not funny. But, when you're completely, how many feet are they underneath the sea level? And then it rains heavy? God, somebody has to have some sense. Just a little bit.
6 feet ain't deep enough.
It sure isn't. 6 Penn State coaches knew that there were babies being molested by Jerry Sandusky. What's his name? Sandusky? Molesting children, but no one reported him. Nobody reported. 6 of them, but nobody. Who's their adult? We got some calls. I didn't even notice. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. 6 adults, and ain't nobody had any sense. I say it again. Nana says somebody got to have some sense. 6 grown men knew that this man was molesting children, and nobody said anything. Good rising, caller, your life. This you, baby. Good rising.
Yeah, good rising, Tayla.
Hey, Harrison. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and yourself?
What up, Days? I'm super fantastic. What's going on?
That's wonderful. You know how it is. The same old. Look, you think the Pharaoh, the way that mummified themselves, it was just, I want to mummify myself? No. They mummified themselves because they know this time will come so they can clone them, like take the hair and then reproduce them. Okay, that's why they mummify themselves. Imagine that if they were burned, their carcass like that, their bodies, they won't be able to do that because when you burn, the body is carbon. I don't think they can take anything from that and to reproduce another human being. So when God says He's gonna come back and all the dead will be come back again, I don't think that's a good idea for people to burn themselves. I think that's a Viking thing, like with their god Odin. But as somebody that think like for the future, if they want to reincarnate you, I don't think that's good to be burned.
Mm. Well, I completely understand where you're coming from. I personally want to be a tree. I don't. I don't want to come back, Harrison. When it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go for a reason. I'm gone for a reason, right? And I don't want to be reincarnated and reproduced. I when it's time for when my time is over, my time is over. It's done. I accept it. I'm ready to go. I want to leave a legacy, and in that legacy, you're gonna come visit me as a tree. Harrison said, I don't know about that, and that's why we are allowed to disagree. Okay.
Yeah, big time. You know.
He said, "Big time." I absolutely do not agree with you. Um, you don't have to agree, but you can call 617-282-0062. I personally want to be a tree. An Italian Ivy League economist, I hate that word, pulled off a flight and interrogated for mysterious scribblings. He was flagged by another passenger, see something, say something. They took him off his flight. And you know what they found? It was math.
Oh, wow.
They pulled a man off the flight, made him feel some type of way about himself, questioning him as a terrorist because of the scribblings and somebody else want to snitch. Sometimes you just need to shut the hell up. Sometimes it's not your business to figure out what I'm doing with my life. And the only reason why somebody was feeling some type of way is because he didn't look like them, because he had a beard and he doesn't even look like a quote unquote, I can't even say that because that's stereotypical, and I don't want to be. We just because we don't understand something doesn't mean it's bad. Period. He's 40 years old. His name is Guido Menzo. He was on a flight from Philadelphia to Secuse. The UPenn professor was solving a differential equation during boarding. His seatmate told an American Airlines attendant that she was too ill to travel, but after she was escorted off the plane, she revealed her suspicious. She was like, I don't trust him. He was writing cryptic notes. The plane was delayed by 2 hours. Travelers thought he was a terrorist. Another person at the airport mistaken him for Sean Lennon and asked for an autograph. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know who Sean Lennon is. But could you imagine just being you? You didn't do anything, you didn't say anything. You're trying to solve a math problem. You try to figure out how the United States go get out of debt. And somebody calls you a terrorist and pulls you off a plane. I'm going to just leave that right there. Vaccine breakthrough may cure cancer. Where Dr. Sebi at? Oh, wait. So they just going to cure cancer with a vaccine, huh? All of a sudden it's curable. All these walk for cancers, run for cancer, jog for cancer. Now all of a sudden all we need is a shot for cancer. This remind me of what is that thing called? That movie with Will Smith in it, and at the end the zombies ate him, and the little girl, the lady and the kid got away. You know what I'm talking about.
Legend.
Whatever that movie is. Because remember in the beginning it was just like, everybody got a cure. Everyone got a cure. Get your shots. Get your vaccines. Be mindful. The vaccine breakthrough may cure cancer and stop it from returning. How injected 2 chemotherapy drugs into tumors can kickstart the immune system to fight back. Look at my face. I'm good. I'm going to see Dr. Sebi. I'm injecting some vitamins called kale, spinach. I'm eating some coconut oil. I'm good. Really quickly, I want to give a huge shout out to boss lady Britt. We are co-hosting. This is all Britt's idea. She asked me to jump on board. I said sure because I believe in it. We are having a family movie day at the Strand, May 28th. I'm really excited because one of the movies that we'll be showing, and we'll be showing movies at 11 a.m., at 2 p.m., at 5 p.m., and at 8 p.m. So again, 11, 2, 5, and 8, we're having family movie day. I Am Legend. Thank you, Big Trini. I Am Legend with Will Smith. Y'all get those vaccines if you want to. I'm Gucci. But again, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. And the 8 p.m. movie is a movie that not only myself and the children are on, but it's a movie that Val Beats is in as well. So Val Beats, Good Life Morning Show, Big City 101.3. All three of us, four of us are in it. And I'm really excited because I've never seen the movie. Don't tell anybody that I have not seen the movie yet. But I'm really excited because it's the Honky Holocaust. We had them on air probably about a year and a half ago. They talk about like reverse racism, what would happen if the Charles Manson family went underground and in hiding for 20 years and reproduced the way that they know how to. And while that took place on the surface, they were underground. Black people were the majority and ran everything. Like we were the police, we were the politicians, we were the everything. And this was put together by some really, out the box kind of dudes. So shout out to Honky Holocaust. That is going to be the 8 p.m. movie. May 28th is when we're showing or hosting this. It's at the Strand Theater. I'll have more information as far as tickets is concerned in a few days. There is a 15-year-old student facing jail time for using counterfeit bill that he found. What if you went to the store right now, you cashed out a $100 bill, and that $100 bill, they gave you a couple 20s. You used that 20. And in the midst of you using that 20, they're like, oh, this is counterfeit. You trying to play us for a fool? Policia! And you end up having to go to jail and serving time. Now pretend you're 15 years old with a $10 bill trying to buy a sandwich and a drink. Absolutely. That from last time I checked, that's a felony charge.
Yep.
And now you're behind at 15 years old, can't do nothing in life because of felony because you found a $10 bill.
Federal with that.
Somebody got to have some sense. Now, a misdemeanor, yes. Teaching our children about money. Yes. How to spot a counterfeit. Yes. How about all of it's counterfeit? It was all made, 22 cents to make a $100 bill? 22 cents to make a $10 bill? We just gonna keep printing money. We ain't got nothing to back it up with. We ain't got no gold. We ain't got no silver, no diamonds, no emeralds. We have nothing to back it up with. You're in my personal space, so I need my elbow room. There's this awesome story. I'm gonna post it on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. It's how a community model saved a failing school. I talk about this every time I go into educational spaces about how can we sit here and ask or demand or implement for our families to have community schools, but yet these schools don't serve our community? How can we say you have community choice, but the choice that you have is lacking everything your child needs? This story is absolutely amazing. I hope you'll take a look at it. It will be on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page, not my personal page. We have to do better. And it aggravates me. My blood boils when I think about how much adults bicker back and forth, how much we argue back and forth, how much we go at each other's necks. You're horrible, you don't do this, you don't do that. But no one's paying attention to the child. I attended an event this weekend with Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. I could be saying that completely wrong because every time I say it, I feel like I'm saying an Asian name, but she's Spanish, Latina. And one of the things, one of the first things, they had a choir come out and they sang, I'm mad, you mad, we mad, oh, and then they made everybody in the building hold hands. When I tell you I cried like a baby, because it makes sense for all of us to have a voice, for all of us to speak our voice. And that's one of the things she said when a child asked her. We have systems that are currently in place that were set in place to imprison certain people. And as a Supreme Court justice, there's just certain things she cannot say, and certain ways she can't say things. But one of the things she said was, you have to be that whale that squeaks so loud that everybody wants to oil you. You have to be that whale. You have to use your voice. And shout out to We Are the Ones. Shout out to Bigger Than My Block. Shout out to Ade, because she brought myself and my mentor, Nudis Camargo, to the back to meet Supreme Court Justice Sonia. The picture is currently on Facebook and Instagram. I think it's funny how it got like 2 likes. 2 likes, 3 likes. If it was Fetty Wap, it would have went 2,000 likes. Supreme Court Justice, nobody even knows who she is. Nobody knows what she does. Posted a picture of her, and as soon as I was in her space, as soon as I was this close to her, my whole body just wept. And again, I was already emotional from holding hands. I'm mad, you mad, we mad, oh. And it wasn't just her. It wasn't what Supreme Court Justice Sonia represents. It's not just her, like, oh my gosh, I'm so envious of her. I love her. I'm a fan of her. It's what she represents. It's where we've come as a country, and where the position that she holds, the first Latina to be a Supreme Court justice. I felt all of our ancestors' struggle. I felt all of the pain. I felt all of the fighting. I felt the water hoses. I felt the dogs. I felt it all. I felt the nooses. I felt I felt the concentration camp that the millions of Latina children are currently sitting in without any parental guidance. I felt it all and just wept, and I couldn't even get my words out. And she just hugged me. And the pictures, I look horrible in the pictures, but it was because my whole body just cried upon meeting her. And she's absolutely amazing. And the advice she gave to the children, like, I know it was for the children, but I felt like it was strictly for me, like she was talking to me. I'm mad, you mad, we mad. Oh, Tayla, you can't sing. I don't care. That's not the point. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Today is Motivational Monday, and I have some motivation for you. It's called Do Unto Others as You Want Others to Do Unto Yourself, a.k.a. karma is an itch. It's that itch in the back that you can't scratch. Karma will come get you. But only if, you know how to implement these things. 12 little known laws of karma that will change your life only if you use them. Only if you utilize them. Just like water can make you, no longer thirst. Only if you drink it. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. Karma is like dominoes. You push one down and the rest come falling, but don't think for a second it ain't gonna come back and knock you over or lift you up, depending upon what type of karma you are into. So nobody on earth can escape karma. Not you, not I, nobody, right? What does karma actually mean? What does it do? Why should I care? You should care because it's inescapable. Whether you believe it or not, it's there. Just like the law of attraction, just like the law of your words, just there's laws. Just like law of gravity. There are some things that are inescapable. And karma is one of them. It is the great law. As you sow, so you shall reap. Say that 10 times fast. It's also known as the law of cause and effect. Whatever we put out into the universe comes back to us. You may speak negatively about me, but guess what? That little saying that children said, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? That right there, as a child, that hurts your feelings, don't it? But when you actually think about it as an adult, I know you are, but what am I? And I say that all the time to people when they're like, Tayla, you're so beautiful. I love you. I love your spirit. I love your soul. You're such a good person. I know you are, but what am I? Because it takes one to know one. You can't see in me what you're not already. That's all. When we see people, whether it's a positive effect or a negative effect, you see somebody, oh, you're selfish or you're inconsiderate. Well, you know what? I know you are, but what am I? You might be seeing these things in me because it's the same. It's a mirror reflection. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking you, have you even considered about changing your ways? Do you want to change your ways? Because that's the first step. You have to want to alter your life. You have to want to change. You have to want to do better and treat people better. The laws of karma come and get you. So whether you want to change today or you want to change next year, one way or another, you gonna change. If what we want is happiness, peace, love, friendship, money, friends, commitment, joy, those are the things that we have to give. Those are the things we have to be. You can't be miserable all your life and say, I want to be happy. That's an oxymoron. That it's not going to happen. For you to wake up miserable, for you to go to bed miserable and complain, all I want to be is happy. Well, no one else is going to fulfill your happiness. Nobody else is going to make you happy. There's nothing on earth that you can buy that is going to make you feel happy. There's no amount of food that is going to, that you can consume that's going to make you feel fulfilled. These are things that you have to do for yourself. Someone said, shout out to Cleon, said, you sound so biblical this rising. You call it karma, I call it sin. It's not necessarily sin. It doesn't have to be sin. You could think something bad about, have you ever said something bad or thought about something bad to somebody else and something bad happened to you? Even if it's as small as you stubbing your toe, like, damn, God don't like ugly. That's what Nana say. I'm really coming out with that book, things that Nana said. The law of creation. Life doesn't just happen. It requires one to participate. You must participate. What is it? Ask, seek, knock. You can ask for something, but you have to go look for it. And once you found it, you got to kick down the doors to go get it. Ask, seek, knock. You have to participate in that. It's not just a gimme, 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 and it's put in your hand. What is it that you want? Go get it. We are one with the universe, both inside and out. If you don't believe that, baby, just think about what's in the universe. Just think about the meteorites and when we break them down and find out what are the biologies of this meteorite. It's made up of potassium and mercury and iron and all of these things that are inside of us. There's been memes, I posted millions of them, of a swirling galaxy, as well as the swirling of our fingertips, how our eyeballs look like explosions of new stars. We are so one with the universe. That's why most of the vegetables that we're supposed to be eating look like the body part that it's supposed to help, or looks like the body part that it will be utilized most by that fruit or vegetable. For instance, beets are good for your heart. That red, bloody, I hate beets. I've tried so bad to like beets. I've tried them in mixed fruit drinks. I've tried them in salads. I can't do beets, but I understand that it's good for your blood. What is it? Mushrooms in the shape of an ear. What is it? Grapefruits. in the shape of, I can't think. Don't make me think right now. But I'll post it. It's a picture of all the different fruits and all the vegetables and the parts of your body that they help and how they look very similar to one another. We are one with the universe. Everything inside of you is everything on the outside. Literally. The potassium, the iron, where my scientists at? All the different things that our body, inside of our bodies, that are growing in the ground, that are coming from the sky, in the sense of what's Mercury made up of? What's Venus made up of? What are all these planets made up of? We are the mixing pot of everything in the universe. A little dash of iron, a little bit of potassium. Those are the only two minerals I actually know that are inside of us. That's why I keep mentioning them. I know we have more. Science wasn't my strong suit. I know my place in the world. Whatever surrounds you gives you clues to your inner state. What does that mean? Have you ever heard the saying, the 5 people that you surround yourself with, or the 9 people? Look at your nine of your friends. Guarantee you're about to be the 10th one. So if you hang around 9 bums, you're about to be the 10th one. Well, Tayla, I used to be a bum and no, I'm no longer a bum. Well, then take a look at your friends, and I bet you your friends have altered as well. The people you hang around have altered. The people that you look up to have altered. And this changes on a regular basis. It's okay. It's okay that your friends that you were friends with 2 years ago are no longer your friends today. Well, guess what? Either you changed or they changed, but something changed, and it may be for the good. It may be for the better. If you are forever watching negativity on television, if you're forever watching people yelling and cussing and you wondering why you always yelling and cussing, well, what are you surrounding yourself with? What are you allowing your ear gates and your eye gates to consume? We are the things that you are what you eat. You are what you watch. You are what you hear. So just think about that. I'm thinking about Doncor right now. When we had Doncor on and he was talking about the need for diversified education when it comes to our children. I'm thinking about how his wife was in the hallway crying because a little boy got beat for not having a key, and the kids that woke up every day having cuss words. Wake the F up, little MFer. Having to wake up to that every day, having to go to sleep to that every day. What are we instilling in ourselves? What are we instilling in our children? That self-talk. It doesn't necessarily have to be your outer world. It could be your inner world. What are you saying to yourself that's creating this turmoil in your life? What does not come out the wash will come, sure enough, come out in the rinse. Shout out to Jeff. Be yourself and surround yourself with what you want to have present in your life. I was recently on a set of a movie, and they asked me like why, one of the other extras asked me why I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And for me, it was, let everybody else can get that spotlight. Everybody else can get that shine. I just wanted the energy. I was just there for the energy. I was just there because that's the energy that I want to have for my life. And I know a lot of people probably don't understand or won't understand, but I surround myself with the things that I want for my future. I understand that just because I see it doesn't mean that it will be mine today. But I surround myself with beauty as much as I can, whether it's the beauty of a photograph, beauty of music, beauty of food, beauty of people. I want to be more peaceful, so I hang around people that are happy and peaceful, and I listen to things of happiness and peace and joy. You cannot for 5 seconds think that your environment doesn't dictate who you are. Your environment dictates everything that you are. Everything. And what you take out of it is who you become. What you refuse to accept will continue for you. Lord have mercy. This is such a difficult principle for us to grasp. What you refuse to accept will continue for you. You could place this for anything. Your food lifestyle, the friends that you choose, the men that you choose, the jobs that you choose. If you don't accept the fact that I keep dating men that have mommy issues because I have daddy issues, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. If you can't accept the fact that I yell at my children because I was yelled at as a child, you're going to keep doing it. Anything, you can apply it to anything. What you refuse to accept will continue for you. Oh, I don't want to work at this job anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Well, you need to sit down and say, why do you keep choosing these things? Because you don't want to accept the truth. You don't want to take that, I'm standing in the mirror. You don't want to look in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change. You don't want to change. If what we see is an enemy or someone with a character trait that we find to be negative, then we ourselves are not focused on the higher level of existence. If what I see out of you is nothing but your negativity, all I see out of you is all of these words that can't even be expressed after 6 a.m., before 10 p.m., if I can't even see the good in you, then I'm not focused on it. I'm not trying to vibrate higher. You do know that there's levels to this, right? That song has so much meaning. When I heard that song, it's levels to this. I wasn't thinking about, the manager, being a manager, being the employee. No, I was thinking about the levels of existence, the frequencies that we vibrate on. Hello, you're made up of electricity. You vibrate. You know that humming of that television and how you can tell whether or not a TV's on all the way from upstairs, downstairs, across the hall, in the other room? Those little waves, they're vibrating. You vibrate. What level are you vibrating on? That all is dictated and determined upon the things that you think of, the foods that you eat. That all alters your frequencies. You don't believe me, just read. Just listen. What are those little, I put up the megahertz last week. The children and I listened to vibrational megahertz. And these vibrations, tap into different brain waves. Have you ever heard somebody talking about playing Mozart or Beethoven for a baby? Because it makes those brain waves move differently or uses different brain waves that aren't utilized on a regular basis. Same thing with the megahertz. Same thing, which are frequencies. I posted it a million times. I'll post it again if you want me to, of the salt on top of a speaker and the different bass levels and how the salt conforms into kaleidoscope type shapes. I feel like I'm beating the horse over its head, but I want you to understand that you vibrate. And when you and somebody else are vibing, when you think of somebody and they call you, y'all on the same frequency. Y'all vibrating. You on that higher level of existence. But when all you see is that negativity, that green-eyed monster, that black, that aura of death, well, baby, I think you need to tone it down a notch. Recalibrate yourself. And we as humans, sometimes we do. We need to sit down, take a step back, take a look at our surroundings and recalibrate ourselves. These aren't the things that I want for my life. Start pruning yourself. It's springtime. You need to start pruning all of this negativity out of your life, negative people, negative behavior, negative thoughts. You can't keep thinking to yourself negative thoughts and thinking good things are going to happen to you when you don't even believe that you're worthy of goodness that come to you. That's crazy. Wherever you go, there you are. In the means of growth, wherever you go, there you are. I don't even know what that means. Well, you're not supposed to. You are supposed to. But the way our education system is set up, they don't want you to know, in my DJ Khaled voice. Wherever you decide to go, that's where you are. Where do you want to go? You can't sit here and say, get in your car and put in the GPS, I'm going to New York. But the GPS go to North Carolina. You have to be on one accord with yourself. I want to be a doctor. Well, let me go on and smoke a little weed real quick, do this crack real quick. You know those two things don't align. Your words and your actions don't mix, baby. You got to choose one or the other. Wherever you go, there you are. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to wake up one day and say, damn, I'm here? You have to make that choice. You have to make that decision. You have to know what you want. You have to write it down. I know you probably heard this a million times about, thinking good thoughts and putting it into existence. You know what? That doesn't work. Anari said yesterday, he said he was talking about wishing stars. And Asaria was talking about wishing flowers. You know those flowers that have that fuzzy stuff and you blow on it? Sari's like, well, the wishing flowers work. And Nari's like, you know what? Those wishing stars don't work. One time I forgot what he wished for, and it didn't come true. He was like, you want to know why? Because I really did. No, it was $10. He was like, I wish I found $10 on the floor. And he was like, you know what? I know why I didn't find that $10. Because I was like, who's going to drop $10? Somebody's going to pick it up. And Asaria, on the other hand, anybody knows Asaria, she's a complete optimistic. Like, everything is possible. What? A unicorn flying down to, like, Pegasus to come pick me up and take me to Atlantis? It's possible. So I believe whatever it is that Asaria wished for absolutely came true, because not only did she wish for it, but she went to go look for it. And when she found it, she kicked open the door and said, ha ha, gotcha. Anari's the complete opposite. Sometimes he's an optimist. Sometimes he's a pessimist. Sometimes he's an opportunist. He doesn't know what he is. For us to grow in spirit, it is we who must change, not the people or places or things around us. That goes back to you actually making a decision to wanting to change. You have to want to change your surroundings. You have to want to change the people in your life. You have to want to change the foods that you eat. In order for us to grow, we can't blame the outside forces. I have cousins that grew up in the worst, horrible conditions possible, but came up on top with all types of degrees, best jobs, best relationships. They took what was going on in their community, what was going on in their environment, and said, listen, I can't change the way I am. I can't change my parents, can't change my living situation, but I am going to change my future. What is it that you want, and what are the things that you're going to have to do to change? And sometimes it's not even us that needs to change. It's just the people around us we need to change. Look at 9 of your friends. If you have 9 rich friends, guess what? You're on your way to becoming the 10th one. If you have 9 broke friends, you're on your way to becoming the 10th one. If you have 9 friends that are nothing but thoughts, either you were a thought or you're on the way to becoming one. You have 9 friends that all cheat on their girlfriends, cheat on their wives. You around that mindset, that mentality that it's okay to mistreat a woman. Guess what? You're about to be the 10th one. It's the law of attraction, baby. You are what you eat, think, and drink on the third dimensional plane. Shout out to Sid. The law of responsibility. Whenever there is something wrong in your life, there's something wrong with you. It's not something wrong with the people around. I had a bad day today because such and such made me feel. This was probably the hardest one for me because I was the queen of victimization. I'll say it. Motivational Monday. I'll take all the credit in the world. I take responsibility for my actions. I was the queen of victimization. You made me feel like you said such and such, and it made me feel like. You don't know nobody like that? Huh? You ain't never met nobody like that? She made me do it. I didn't want to crash up his car, key up his car, but you made me do it. I ain't make you do nothing. I put that to your hand. How I make you do it. What Cat Williams say? It's called self-esteem. You got to work on that. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Whenever there's something wrong with your life or something going on, it's all about you, baby. You got to take responsibility for your actions. Nobody made you feel no type of way. Nobody made you do anything. You did that upon your own self after whatever conversation that we had. All right, queen, victimization queen. You cheated on me, so I felt like I had to get back on you. You talked to me a certain kind of way, so I felt like I had to. We all play the victim. Every single last one of us play the victim. Sometimes you need to grow up and play the victor. You have to. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirrors us. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirrors us. Sometimes I have friends that just want to come over and sit on the couch. They don't want to do nothing. I have a friend that will leave work to come over my house to work. I swear, sweet baby Jesus. She leaves work and comes and sits. And one of the things she says is, I just love the energy at your house. I just love being here. The kids don't have to be there. I don't have to be there. It's just the residual energy of everything that happens in that house. I just like being here. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirrors us. And only somebody with a good heart, only somebody with pure intentions can come in my house and actually feel welcome, because that's exactly what's there. Our love and pure intentions and happiness and weirdness and joy. In order for you to bask and enjoy those things, you have to be those things. You guys, I'm not on my phone. I can't use my phone. So if you want to send me a message, send it on Facebook, because my phone is preoccupied with Facebook Live. For those that are just now tuning in, Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Today we are talking about 12 little known laws of karma that will change your life only if you let them. Change your life only if you use them. Change your life only if you implement them. Even if something we do seems inconsequential, it is very important that it gets done, as everything in the universe is connected. I can't think of the guest that was on air with us that was talking about, Zaz. Shout out to our sponsor, Zaz, located in Hyde Park. Great food. He said, I hate it when people say it doesn't matter or don't worry about it. It's nothing. Because every detail, every little detail, it counts. It matters. Have you ever tried to zip up a zipper without that little piece? Oh, don't put that on. It doesn't matter. We don't need that. Imagine that little piece of the zipper was missing. Oh, it's so little. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The clasp of a necklace, that little round hole, that is so small. It won't matter. Well, how am I supposed to connect it to the other side? Everything matters. Everything is connected. Could you imagine for 5 seconds if a piece of your vehicle, a piece of your car, a piece of the airplane, that doesn't matter. I won't fix it. It doesn't matter. And all of a sudden the wheels fall off. The engine falls out. Everything matters. Everyone matters. I'm mad. You mad. We mad. Oh. Everybody, everything, it matters. And we have to start treating each other like things matter. We have to, like, even the people that you dislike, they're here in the world for a reason. Whether it's to teach you how to be more patient, whether it's to teach you how to deal with hard-headed people. I know I've been somebody's karma before. I know me as a headache. I know I've been someone's karma. I know I'm here to teach a few people patience. I'll take that. I accept that. I'll bite that. Everybody matters, and every little detail matters. So if you're writing down your mission statement, or you're writing down what you want to do, or what you want to be, or things you want to acquire or conquer, every step matters. There's no hopscotch to success. You know how you be skip one or two? No such thing. Each step leads to the next step, and so forth. I'm thinking of the Glass Stair poem. Each step does lead us to the next step, and you can't get to the top without taking each and every step. Now, you may be able to become a master and skip a step one or two, but your legs ain't long enough to box with God, baby. Like, you just can't take one step and leap through it all. Sometimes we're so scared to take that baby step. So scared. I have a nephew right now that was learning how to walk. He's in the process of learning how to run right now. But I remember him standing up, and he has so much confidence and so much strength in his legs, pulling himself up, so much strength in his arms to pull himself up and to stand up. And he mastered that. But it was the turning around and actually trying to take that step. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Let's go back to holding the table. But he turned around and he'd try again. And even the look of trying. I want to do it. I'm scared. We're so scared to take that first step. But as soon as he took that first step, he took that second step, he took that third step, my baby's walking. Shout out to my nephew, Noah. Happy Mother's Day. First Mother's Day, my sister's first Mother's Day. You have to take that first step of entering into a relationship, that first step of leaving a relationship, that first step of making your dreams come true, that first step of doing the impossible. Everybody told you you can't do it. Everybody told you were crazy for doing it. Everybody told you were an idiot for altering your life in this manner. What's wrong with you? But everything in your heart tells you to take that first step, but you're scared. You can't get to where you want to be unless you take that first step, which is going to connect you to the second step. And after you get a few steps in, you'll be like, no, we're running around, getting on people's nerves. Someone must do the initial work to get the job done. You can't think for 5 seconds that people are just going to do for you. You can't. Neither the first step nor the last step has any greater significance. The first step's not more important than the last. The first step isn't more important than the 30th. Because try and get up the stairs without the 30th step. Try and get up the stairs missing 15 steps. What if you change to a positive, but your spouse remains negative? What do? All you can do is be the change that you wish to see in the world. I can't tell you. I know the struggle of trying to uplift somebody who don't know how to uplift themselves. I want you to think for a second of everyone in the Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, and it doesn't even have to be just here. People in the rural South, people in any level of poverty. A lot of us grew up not having a damn thing. A lot of us grew up not having new things. A lot of us grew up not having anything, not knowing what anything is. I played Jessica for a reason this rising. I can do anything good. I like my aunts. I like my haircuts. I like my cousins. I like my house. I like my stuff. And just be infectious towards that person. And just bubble and burst all over them. Be that bubble of joy that they just, I was mad, but I can. What do you do when somebody is so negative? But you're so positive. Continue to be positive and pray that you rub off on them. Because guess what? What you surround yourself with, you soon become. So if you keep surrounding your spouse with that love, you keep surrounding your spouse with that positivity, you keep surrounding that spouse with this joy, little by little, it'll start rubbing off. And ask them to engage it with you in things. If they have a negative mentality, ask them to come for a walk with you. Go on a walk, breathe fresh air, look at trees that you've never looked at before. Point out, how beautiful and how much of a blessing certain things are and how you feel close and connected. And there's nothing that you have to do after that because the spirit's going to take over and they're going to feel it for themselves. What do you do when you have a spouse that's on the path of negativity, but yet you're on a path of doing great things? Continue to be great. Continue to do great. And pray to God that they follow. Or you have to live and make the decision and live with that decision to walk away. Because if you are infectiously trying to give them that joy, but yet they have that poverty mindset, you could be broke as hell and not have a poverty mindset. You could be broke as hell and know for a fact that your life is going somewhere. You could have nothing and still know that this is only for today. Tomorrow is a completely different. Hey, judge me for today if you want to, because you'll be looking to hold my hand in a few years. Be the light that shines in the darkness so others can see your example and follow. Shout out to Cleon. We currently have a call on the line. Waking Up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Today we're talking about the laws of karma and how you can better improve your life if you utilize these laws. And guess what? Whether you use them or not, they're real. The 9 people you surround yourself with, you're about to be the 10th one. If all your friends are sedity and have their noses in the air and are stuck up and are crazy and deranged, in my Martin voice. If you have friends that are out here wilding out, thoughting out, cheating on their wives, you about to be the next one. If you have friends out here trying to better their life, trying to go to school, trying to get an education, trying to find a trade. You have friends out here that want nothing more but to improve the lives of others. Guess what? I guarantee you're going to be the next one. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Don't be afraid to say, listen, can you be my mentor? I need you in my life. I have friends today. We met how long I met Naima? Shout out to Naima. I met Naima when we were in RCC together, way before Nari was even thought of. So like 15, 17 years ago. And now that I know who she is today, I understand why my spirit connected with her. I gave her my phone number and told her we're going to be friends. She'll tell you, she writes about it. She posted on Facebook. Like, when I met Tayla, she gave me her number and said, call me. We're going to be friends. Your spirit knows who it wants to be, and it knows who people around you are already. That's why these babies out here won't go to certain people, because they know the spirit. Now, like, nah, I'm good. That's why babies that I never met before, they just put their arms out. I love it when they do that. Ooh, I got baby fever bad, y'all. 617-282-0062. Good rise and call you live. V from Tennessee. Hey, boo.
Hello, how you doing this rising, Tayla?
I am super fantastic. How you feeling, babe?
I'm doing good. You know, I needed a motivation Monday. I've been doing a lot in the past couple of weeks, but I actually have a message for the listeners and for everybody. There's been a lot that you've discussed, somewhat of a monologue, but sometimes you need to do that, Taylor, because a lot of what you said is absolutely on point. Everything that you say is on point. I've recently experienced, I started off, I'll just tell you a quick story. I started off about 2011, trying to get myself involved in barbecue. And I really didn't know what to do. And this speaks to surrounding yourself with certain people and how it kind of gravitates to something bigger. And so I just have a quick story I want to share. And so I started volunteering for this barbecue festival that's happening this week in Memphis. Actually, it's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. So I started off volunteering. You know, I went down for free. I contacted the committee, and I started to meet people when I was down at the river. Tom Lee Park here in Memphis is right by the pyramid, by the Mississippi River. After the second year, third year, I started to get recognition for the free time I was given. I was volunteering, doing it all for free. I would take off an entire week, you know, every year. And so I met this particular team, which I've become a member of for the first time this year. And it's given me an opportunity that I didn't think I would ever have. And it's just the karma. When you put out good things and you have good intentions, it always comes back to you. So I get to cook next to at least 2 celebrity chefs that's in the barbecue circuit. And if anyone goes to my Facebook page, or, you know, it's going to be Viterio Vosley, or my Twitter is Orca06Hudat. If you go, I'll be posting some videos and some photos and whatnot. But this is what happens when you surround yourself with the 6 or 9 people that you were talking about. And you make different people your friends, and you get involved in something that you may have never thought you would be involved with. It might take some time, but you can't give up on it. Mm-hmm. You know, just like what you were talking about with the children. You know, the way you speak to children sometimes, that speaks a certain mentality. It speaks a certain self-esteem into their very existence. And the more positive you are, then they're going to view themselves that way, because they're looking at you. They're looking at how you speak to them, how you talk to them. And it gives them an opportunity to look at themselves. When they see in the mirror, they're going to see one or two things. They're either going to see what they're told or what they feel, you know? So what they're told and what they feel is going to be their reflection. The more positive it is, that's what they're going to see back, is positivity. Look, we are never too old to start anything, or never too young to start a different journey. You can be in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It's never too late to start a different journey. And to be motivated, that's what we're talking about today. The karma of life. The 12 laws, if you outline them during the show, or if you post them on your page, it's very important that people understand it's never too late, Taylor. And I thank you for everything that you messaged me, the shout outs, everything. And I love the listeners. Everyone has great things to say. And if y'all check me out, I'll be on Periscope off and on throughout the week. If you could follow me, it's the same thing as my Twitter page. I just want to open up, man. I'm usually kind of to myself, but I'm going to go live a few times, and I just want people to feel my love. All right? And I appreciate you, Taylor. And have a great week.
And I appreciate you, baby. You know what? I'm going to make sure I sit by you, because that barbecue, that Memphis barbecue. That's V from Tennessee, y'all. If you didn't know, we have listeners from down south, the deep south. V from Tennessee. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to go to Mississippi, go see the Mississippi River and get me some barbecue. And he's absolutely right. Sometimes you have to invest. You have to invest time that you don't want to invest time in. Listen, I do not like waking up at 4 o'clock in the a.m. I do not like it, but I invest in you guys. I want my people to be free, to be free, to be free, and nobody else is feeding my people. So I can't sit here and say, why aren't the people being fed? But I'm not going to sit here, but I'm not willing to sacrifice something to feed. You have to sacrifice. V from Tennessee just said, I volunteered a week out of the year to surround myself with people that I wanted to be next to. And guess what? This year, I'm standing next to 2 celebrity chefs. I would never dream that I would be here. But I was, steadfast, and I knew what I wanted. And I sacrificed some things. And he's absolutely right about how we feed into children. Children react on how they feel or what they believe they're worth. How many times have you told your child they're an idiot or they're dumb or you're stupid? Or how many times have you spoken these words to your children? Be honest. You don't have to call me and be honest. Just think to yourself, how many times have you spoken negatively to your children? And why do you think they're timid? They're shy? What role did you play? Just because somebody cut you down and broke you down doesn't mean that you have to do it to the babies. One more time, only because I love it.
Now my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my mom. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah.
Better than anyone.
I can do anything good. Better than anyone.
Better than anyone. What do you think her parents are feeding into her? What do you think her parents are saying to her? What words of encouragement did her parents instill in her? For her to look in the mirror, and I'll post it on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. This is her actually speaking to the mirror, looking at herself. It's called Jessica's Affirmations. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's been up there for years. My whole house is good. I can do anything better than anyone. What kind of individual do you think she's going to grow up to be? What kind of leader do you think she is going to be? As they were both needed to accomplish the task, that first and last step is very detrimental. One does not supersede the other. Past, present, future, they are all connected. Don't let anybody for 5 seconds make you question your past. Because if it was not for your past, you would not be the person that you are today. If it wasn't for the BS that you went through, you would not be the person that you are today. Don't think for 5 seconds, I wish I had different parents. I wish I grew up in different circumstances. I wish I had more love. I wish I had a bigger house. Be happy with what you have, because the reason you are where you are, or the reason why you were where you are, is to be the person that you are today. If you lacked love your whole entire life, if your mama didn't give you love, you didn't have no grandparents to give you love, the teachers didn't give you love, but right now you're a bubble of love, and all you do is love on people, you love on your children, you love on those that you don't even know, and you're nothing but love, guess what? It was because of your past that you are that person today that can give that love, because you lacked it so much in your past. We have a call on the line. I was about to be transparent for a second. 617-282-0062. Verizon call you live.
Good rising, Taylor.
Good rising.
Good rising. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. It was a beautiful thing. I just want to say one thing to everybody, is don't forget what peace means. You know what I'm saying? Every day when I wake up, you know what I'm saying, 4:30 in the morning, I'm at peace because my main word when I first wake up is saying peace. And peace to me means, well, not to me, but what it is positive energy activates constant elevation. So every day I say that. So I just want to say that's one of my good.
Hold on, say that again. Peace. Peace stands for what?
Peace stands for positive energy activates constant elevation.
One more time for the people that are slow.
Positive energy activates constant elevation.
You know I forgot already, right?
You know what I'm saying? Because when I heard a little girl, you always say that, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That when you were a kid, that was the piece. You know what I'm saying? Positive energy activates constant elevation.
But. Thank you for that. We needed that.
All right, good rising.
Good rising. I love you. I love all the listeners. I love everything. I love how we're all connected, how everybody matters, how everybody's voices matters, how everybody's opinion matters, how we are all connected. And it doesn't matter. Even Brother Nubian, even he matters. I'm mad. You mad. I wish we could all hold hands and sing that song. I wish everybody would get just as emotional as I did on Saturday. One of the things that I loved, for those that are just now tuning in this weekend, I went to an event where Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, first Latina to ever sit on the Supreme Court Justice. I went to an event featuring her, and I was able to meet her, and I broke down. I broke down and cried, and felt like I felt everything of our ancestors, everything of those that came before us, and I just broke down for everything that she stands for, how far we have come. It was amazing. She talked about being strong and being resilient. And no matter how many times you're knocked down, the one thing that you have to do is get back up. I don't care if you're knocked down 99 times, as long as you get up 100 times, you still standing. Don't ever let people knock you down. Don't ever let people tell you about yourself. You know who you are. We have people out here, whether it be your parents or whether it be strangers, who think they know more about you than you, who will tell you the type of person that you are, that will tell you, what you're worthy of and what you deserve and what you should have and the things that you shouldn't have and what you don't do. They'll sit here and tell you who you are simply because they're jealous of who you are, simply because they can't do the things that you do. They're so jealous of you just being yourself. You remember last week's Motivational Monday? People gonna hate you. And they hate you because you are simply yourself. And there's nothing wrong with being disliked. There's nothing wrong with being hated. Because most of the times it's just the fact that they don't understand how you can go through all this opposition and still remain yourself, still remain unchanged. You cannot think of two things at the same time. The Bible calls this a double-minded man. You cannot, again, say I want to go to New York and put in your GPS South Carolina. It's not going to work out for you. You can't. Well, maybe, because you might drive through New York, but guess what? You're going to South Carolina, says the GPS. You cannot say, I want to be something great, and then in your mind say, I'm not good enough. You cannot say, I am worthy, and then believe that you're not worthy. You cannot say, I love you, and then treat me with disdain. Your words have to match your actions. Your words have to match your intentions. Your words have to match your thoughts. You cannot be a double-minded man and expect to get somewhere and accomplish something. Listen, you can't say, I want to be a psychologist and study medicine. Well, maybe you can, because those paths do cross. You can't say, I want to be a mechanic and study health. My example sucked this morning. I'm so sorry. You can't want to be a geologist, somebody who studies rocks, the earth, and then study mammals instead. Your words have to match your actions. The law of here and now, looking backwards to examine what was, prevents us from being totally in the here and now. Sometimes we have old thoughts, old behaviors, old patterns, old dreams. We start thinking about the old things, the things that you wanted to do. And I go back to the post that I posted on Facebook about the mothers who were in relationships who wanted to be wives, who are now baby mamas. Celebrating Mother's Day alone, celebrating Mother's Day with your children, celebrating Mother's Day when you had this ideal. So this is more of a confession, honestly. So in my confession, these are my confessions. So in my confession, I met Anari and Asaria's dad when I was 17 years old. And we were together for 5 years. Neither one of the children were planned per se, but we did sit down and we had conversations. And I didn't meet him on a Thursday, got pregnant on a Friday. It didn't happen like that. We were in a relationship. We had love. We had each other. We were on the path to marriage. I had this idea. I think fairy tales really F me up too. Like Cinderella, happily ever after. Like those really had me thrown for a loop that was what life really was like. That it was all happily ever after. You find your prince, you get married, pumpkins and shoes. Life didn't work out like that. And I had 2 children, 22 years old, single. And I've repeated over and over and over again for a good 8 years. This is complete transparency. For a good 8 years, I replayed the fact that I was a single mother who was supposed to be a wife. Like that's what we planned for. We planned for always and forever. That's what was supposed to happen. It didn't work out that way. But I allowed myself for 8 years strong to question what happened then. I was living in the past. It wasn't until I woke up and was like, wow, I'm here today. This is where I am. How do I move forward? Because I was so busy living that dream that was never coming true. And I had to realize that it wasn't necessarily him that I wanted, but the idea that we created is what I actually desired. That family, that mother and father with our children is what I wanted, what I desired, what I dreamed of, what I kept going back to the old. And sometimes we're wondering why we are so stuck. We're at this plateau and we can't move up. And we feel like we're doing everything right. We have the right job. We're in the right relationship. We have the right degrees. We're doing the right trainings. We're surrounding ourselves with the right people. But I can't move any further. I can't get to where I'm trying to go. It's probably because your mind is still back 8 years ago. Because your mind can't get over the fact of what you had planned that is no longer in the plans. Sometimes you got to let it go. You just got to let it go and start all the way from the beginning and start over with a clean slate and say, you know what? That happened. That was then. This is now. What am I going to do now? History is going to repeat itself until you learn the lessons you need in order to change your path. So during those 8 years of me looking behind and having, this ideal of, him and I and our children, I was in all of the wrong relationships For a good 8 years strong, I was in all of the wrong relationships, trying to recreate this thing that I so desperately wanted from 17 to 22. I can't believe how transparent. I'm kind of blushing and feeling a little embarrassed. This is my truth. This is my honesty. These are my confessions. History repeated itself over and over and over and over and over and over. And I could go on for 356. I had to factor in a leap year. Because there were 2 leap years during my over and over and over and over again. Do you know how many days I wasted thinking about the past? Do you know how many years of my life I stole from myself, worried about something that was never going to happen? Do you know how many men and women, and not just relationships, but in life, dreams, education, a move that you wanted to make, a relationship you wanted to happen, a conversation that I know I'm not the only one. How many times you had conversations in your head with somebody if you would ever see them again? Do you know how much time you're robbing from yourself with these fake conversations that are never going to happen? Oh, if I ever see her, I'm going to say da 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 da. I'm going to do. And you don't never see the broad. Never. How many times have you went over it in your head? If I ever see my boss, if I ever see this person, stop robbing yourself. Because history is going to continue to repeat itself until you learn that lesson. Until I learn that I made mistakes in my past. My past is my past. I don't live there anymore. The children's father does not live in that space anymore. We can't go back to that space until I actually realize it's time to move forward. Wake up, Tayla. Until I actually woke up, I kept repeating the same mistakes. I kept doing the same things. I kept talking about the same 8 years ago when you promised me. Nah. It repeated itself until I sat down and had to reevaluate. I had to prune. I had to recalibrate my frequencies. I had to, gain some understanding of what it is that I actually wanted. I had to be a little patient and understand that I've been creating this karma that's been repeating itself for the last 8 years. I have to have a little patience and understanding. In order for the next 8 years to be different, we have to slowly change the trajectory. And remember last week when I was talking about drains that keep spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning? In order for it to actually turn the other way, we have to have a little patience and understanding that you spin like this, you spin in one direction for so fast. First of all, it has to come to a stop before it can even go in a different direction. So you have to have a little patience. You can't say, oh, this ain't working. I've been praying for the past 2 days. My new job didn't come. I've been praying for 2 years. Such and such didn't happen. But you've been thinking of negative thoughts for the past 10 years that these 2 years are trying to catch up with the 10 years of negativity. They say that in order for you to get over a relationship, it takes 1 month for every year. Something on the lines of that. Well, if you've been thinking negative thoughts for all 32 years of your life and you want to start living a positive one, you have to understand that those 32 years have done some damage. You have to heal thyself first and foremost before you can even start going in that other direction. You have to get back from something whatever you wanted, you have to, what you see is what you get. What are you seeing for yourself? What are you saying to yourself? And again, I feel like I'm beating the horse, but words are creative. Thoughts become things. They are able to measure frequencies. They are able to measure every time your brain thinks, they can measure that. They can measure whether you just watch something happy on television based on what part of your brain lights up. They can see if you're fearful based on what side of your brain lights up. They can tell if you're in love or have admiration towards somebody based on the way that your brain lights up. So you don't think for 5 seconds without having that machine on that your brain isn't lighting up every time you think a thought, every time you speak a word. And not only do I want you to be mindful of your own words, I want you to be mindful of the words that you use around your children. The way you speak to yourself, your children are going to start speaking to themselves in that same manner. I have invested so much of self into my children that you cannot tell a Nari nor a Saria that they are not great. You could take my children on for a whole month and try and break them down about how horrible individuals they are, how much compassion they lack, how much nobody loves them, how worthless they are. And you know what my kids gonna do? They're gonna look at you like you crazy. Because they know the God in them. They know the power that's within them. They know Asaria thinks her name is Awesome. She asked me if she could change her name to Awesome. Scout Honor. Asaria and Awesome are the same thing. You can't tell a Nari that he's not the greatest dancer, even though he's not the greatest dancer. You can't tell Asaria she's not a singer, even though she needs singing lessons. We have to instill and invest in our children so they can then invest in themselves, so they can invest in other people. And that's karma right there. Watching your children boomerang back to what you instilled in them. I think the Bible says instilling your children something so they will
raise up a child in the way it should go.
Raise up a child in the way it should go, so when they get older, they will not depart from those ways. You have to invest in those babies. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to post the 12 little known laws of karma that could change your life if you let them, if you work them, if you utilize them. They're not going to work if you just read them. Oh, yeah, that was nice. I knew that. You don't know until you know. You don't know until you do. So you don't know about speaking positively until you actually start speaking with positivity. I could go on. I just realized what time it is. I am so sorry. Shout out to the Good Life Morning Show. Shout out to you, the listeners. Shout out to our sponsors. Coleman G. Howard. I love him so much. I appreciate him so much. You know, one of the things that I appreciate about Coleman G. Howard is the fact that his movement is about truth, love, and compassion. It's about changing the world for the betterment of everyone. And there's two paths that we can travel in order to change the world. And those two paths are truth and love. We have to have compassion in our heart in order to have that truth and love. I want to give a huge shout out to Faith Naturals. I am trying to get Faith to retire from her job and to be the entrepreneur that she is. Her products are absolutely amazing. Even if you didn't get a Mother's Day basket, you can still get a Mother's Day basket. It might not be at the price it was before, but you can still get these products. They're at stores. The Herb Life in Dudley. There's another one on Blue Hill Ave across from Frugal Furniture. These are made in our community. We have to support our small businesses, and they're absolutely amazing. And anybody who got a basket for Mother's Day, I would love, if you like it, if you love it, if you hate it, I still want your opinion. Give us a call whenever you use the product, 617-282-0062, and let us know how you liked it. Do please remember that David Banner is coming to Boston, the Boston Strand Theater, July 23rd. I'm excited. You're excited. We all should be excited. 28th, where Honky Holocaust will be showing at 8 p.m. We have 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. And Val Beats is going to be in Honky Holocaust. So if you want to see him and Ari and Asari are also in the movie, this is May 28th. please save the date. We're going to try and get you guys some good food out there. Maybe Zaz will come out. I love you. I appreciate you. My whole house is good. I can do everything good, better than anyone. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Big City. Is my girl not working? She's not working.
Now my whole house is great.
I can do anything good.
I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my mom. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house.
My whole house is
great. I can do anything
good.
Yeah. I can do anything good.
Better than anyone.
Better than anyone.
Yep, that's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up with your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go. Number one.
Hello? Anchor.
I think the Facebook Live stopped. YouTube, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys had an awesome day today. I feel good. Invest in your children, invest in yourself, and just have a little patience. Mwah.